I never want to I never want to fail to, first of all, thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. In wins and losses, He's still our, He's still my King and my Master, and I thank Him for what He's done for my girls this year. As for the game, Bridgeport played great, and they played good defensively. They're good. They're here for a reason too. They have a good ball club, and excuse me, and they were very well coached, and Coach Marshall. And I'm tickled to death with my girls. I love them. They gave me everything they had. I mean, they didn't like we was going out there and not playing hard. They played as hard as they could go, and just things happen sometimes. Sometimes the shots just don't fall.
Question.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about that defense you faced today?
Yeah, they were quick. I mean, they were quick, and they did a good job on their help defense on Hope. They're a good team. Mickey Glenn's a great player, and the other girls for them stepped up and made shots as well. But as for their defense, like I said, they're athletic, they're quick, and they just made the right decisions. We missed some shots we normally make. A lot of times the shots we took today, we knocked down sometimes. So basketball is a game of ups and downs, and today it was a kind of a down moment for us when it comes to scoring. But I'm proud of these girls. They did a great job for me.
Did you guys want to make the rest of the Bridgeport's team beat you? Maybe focus on Nikki?
Oh yeah. She's a first team All-Stater, and watching her the first two games down here, and from the other people we've talked to about Bridgeport, throughout the season, she makes that team go, and she's such a good scorer. I mean, she's great at getting to the basket and drawing fouls, and we know she shot over 50-some foul shots in these 3 days. So she got to the basket, and that's what we tried to do. We tried to keep her out of that lane. We wanted to try to make her become a jump shooter, or try to make the other girls beat us. And we held them to 40 some points, right? I'm not sure exactly what they had. So game plan wise, we kept them about what we wanted to keep them at. We wanted to try to keep them in the 40s and try to go for what we usually do when we score in the 60s and 70s. It just wasn't meant to be today.
Hope, with you being a sophomore, what kind of fuel does this give you personally, just as you look forward, and how you take this feeling to benefit you down the road?
It just makes me want to work harder and get back here next year and be in the same spot, the same game, just come out with the win next year. It just makes us want to work harder.
Have you ever had a game like that? Where that you were kind of stopped, or things just didn't work for you?
Yeah, I've had a couple games like that.
It
You just have
happens.
to try to fight through it, and accept for your open players. And
We still got to realize these are still kids. I mean, they're young women, young they're becoming young adults, but they're still times where the shots just won't fall for them. And these girls fought hard, and I'm blessed to have a bunch of girls back coming next year. And we got a great senior we're losing this year in Morgan Sporridge, and I love her, and she's done a huge amount for this program. She's accepted roles from the time she was a freshman all the way up to her senior year. She's had different roles to this team. And, from playing forward on defense a lot of times to playing shooting guard to playing small forward on offense to all the way up to playing point guard this year. Morgan is going to be a big absence next year for this team. And, these girls love her, and they look up to her, and we love her too.
Coach, you guys had your first 6 possessions, 6 turnovers. Just too much to overcome with that, or?
Well, I'm pretty sure we had a few shots there too. I think we missed a few shots, like I said, that we normally make. But you got to protect the ball. It does come down to making the right decisions, and you got to credit Bridgeport with playing great defense too. They were quick, and they did a good job of helping out, and just give credit to them.
This has not been about one game. Last year I got emotional on you. I really don't want to do that. The girls think I'm turning into some sort of 85-year-old woman because I've been emotional today. But this is about a lot more than one game. It's about a lot more than one season. This is about a group of young ladies, some of them sitting up here, some of them in the locker room, some of them graduated last year. It's completely, undoubtedly bought into a system that hasn't always been right, but it has always been about work ethic and caring about those to your right and left more than yourself, which, as we all know, is an extremely rare characteristic in today's world. And in the process, I think that I can say this because of most of their involvements in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes with us. I think it demonstrates their faith on how they play on the court, and I hope that shown out more than anything through the course of this week and in the course of last year too, and how they handled them in that situation. As far as the game itself goes, man, what a basketball team. I mean, Lester, it's incredible. And you guys know better than I do. Most of you have seen her play more than I have, and she's just an incredible player. I mean, we got 3 people responsible for her just about every time, and she's still getting touches and she's still getting finishes. We know that. But nonetheless, the job that Hannah Fetty did on her and did all tournament, and kudos to you guys because you got that. She probably didn't score 10 points in this tournament, but she's definitely a conference. I can't even say anything right now, guys. I'm sorry, but she's definitely an all-tournament player for what she did. She's playing a 5'8" post, and she's played in this tournament. She's played 3 6-foot plussers, and I think it's pretty obvious that Lester's a first-team All-Stater, and probably some of those others she played too. I think the Schaefer girl will be also. So hats off to her. And what can you say about Mickey Glenn that hasn't already been said? But I'll say it anyhow. If she ain't the best player in the state of West Virginia, I don't care anymore. other than she deserves it because she plays the game the way and maybe this is just my personality, it's the way I believe it's supposed to be played. But it's not just about how she plays the game. The humility you've seen here, guys, talking to her all week long is not something weird. This is who she is. Somebody is getting a big reward next year on the recruiting market, and I think she's going to wait a while. That's up to her, but she's going to wait a while on that. But somebody's going to, and she's also going to have a fan now that's not going to yell at her every time she does something wrong.
Dave, when you started this program, I don't know how many years ago.
This is my 18th year, Jeff.
18 years ago, you'd always preached to me and told me you used to preach to team that your foundation of any team was going to be defense because that was the one thing that you could control regardless of the shooters you had, the athletic ability you had. You held a team tonight that was putting up some big numbers. So really good numbers. How pleased are you with that?
Honestly, I don't believe it. You give me a stat sheet. I don't believe it. I watched that team play. Last night, I'm having trouble sleeping, and I'm like, what are you going to do? And this team is a perfect example of that, Jeff. You don't have to be able to run fast. You don't have to be able to jump high. You don't have to be able to score 40 points a game, although it's nice. You don't have to be able to do all that to play defense. It's a matter of desire and want to, and a little bit of intelligence. And this team right here proved that. I mean, they're the poster children for that.
Mickey, can you talk about when you checked out of the game and you jumped in the coach's arms? What were you feeling then?
It's definitely one of the more exciting moments in my life. Like, he deserves this more than anybody else. He's worked so hard. He's been like a father to any of these girls, and he's taken girls who were immature as freshmen and turned them into young women as seniors. So I'm glad I could get him a state championship.
I'll get you your check after a while.
Hannah, 7 points all tournament and yet all tournament. And we were talking about it. We don't know the last time somebody was named, if ever, solely on the quality of their defense through the course of a tournament. Can you talk a little bit about today and, process?
Well, I knew I wasn't by myself. I knew there'd always be help when it's not just me on someone, it's the whole team on everyone. And I think that the way we play, fronting the post and pushing her back, and you know that somebody's going to be there to help you if you lose your man or anything. So it's just a group effort.
But you were on her like glue. I mean, they helped, but I haven't seen back there like defense like that in a long time in the post. You were brilliant. I mean, what was going through your head? I mean, she's a good player. I've never seen her shut down like that. Just what were you thinking? What's in your head?
Well, I was just thinking I need to stop her from scoring and just try not to foul because I've been in foul trouble quite often the past few days. And my goal was to play straight up defense. And
Hannah is listed at 5'8". That's maybe stretching it. Her heart's about 6'4", and I think you've seen that this tournament.
Tori, you were playing a lot of backside help on that too. Talk a little bit about what that was like.
Like Hannah said, she knows that we have her back and that we're going to help her. And I just had to be in the right position to help her out if she got the ball and just stop her from scoring, try to help.
Mickey, how much time a day, practice-wise, do you guys spend foul shooting?
We shoot foul shots towards the end of practice, and we shoot a couple of them, and then other than that, we just shoot them just like before practice or after practice.
How many did you shoot? I mean, would you estimate you shot like, per day in the summer or something?
In the summer?
Yeah, or off-season.
Probably around 20 to 30 a day.
Missed another one today, Mick.
Well, Coach,
Let's talk about
you said
that.
after the sectional game against Grafton, you told me when all else is going bad, we're still going to guard and make our free throws and hope it carries us.
And I'm
I mean,
sorry.
not that all else went bad today, but each team had 10 field goals in the game.
All else would have went bad had we not done that.
Well, I mean, it's you shoot free throws better than any boys team I've seen. I mean, you shoot better than most college teams. I mean, how have you gotten them to be so successful?
I think it's I'm blessed with working with. I mean, we really try to study it and try to teach it, but they've got to put in the time. She's talking about the most recent practices. That's how we finish up. But in the preseason, we'll take 2 or 3 free throw shooting sessions. But it's like anything else in any sport. If you're only going to start working on it November 5th, you're not going to be very good at it. And so a lot of that is what they've done in the off season. But it's something we drill. We have different shooting drills that I've stolen from different colleges that we feel like helps us. But it comes down to them having the mentality and stepping up there and doing it. They know what to do.
Coach, X's and O's wise, I know we keep harping on defense here, but, it wasn't just Lester. Spolarich and Davis combined for 3 points. I mean, you were doubling and tripling Lester and still getting out on perimeter shooters. What was the game plan coming into this?
It was what you've seen. We're going to try to front. Hannah's got to front Lester. We're going to get that backside help, usually from Tori. That's her position. It's going to be the next closest person. So it wasn't always Tori. Megan Ware was in that position a lot in the first quarter. And then your next side guard's got to rotate down. I think it's the reason it was effective and is because we do it all the time. You've seen this team's defense basically this year, especially the last month and a half, because we've had no true post player. So we've had to do this. Had we just said yesterday, or last night, hey, we're going to have to defend this way, we'd have been in trouble. But this is the way we've had to play it for a while. It's been out of necessity. It's what it is. They're becoming a lot better at the guards at closing out on those shooters. And if you can close out quick and hard and stay low so you don't get beat off a dribble, contest those shots. That gives you a chance. If they make those shots, then wow, it's a different thing.
Two big offensive outputs out of Mickey in the first 2 games. 22 points today, but have you seen, obviously she's showing a lot more complete stuff today than just scoring.
And here's the truth. I don't know how many of you caught it, but I'm with her all the time for several years. Mickey was tired today. She'll never admit it. Some of those pull-up jumpers she missed, she was dragging. And how can you not be dragging? I mean, I've taken her out for about a grand total of 30 seconds in 3 days, and she's kind of carrying the weight of the world on her shoulder. So I think she was tired. But here's the thing, guys, and this is what the average player can't do or doesn't do. Even the average good player, she understood that. And instead of when that happens to some kids, they just go hard as you can and try and get frustrated. And maybe she'd have done that 2 years ago. She adjusted. We called a set we call Carolina, which is basically a ball screen for Mick. And she come off, and whether she even realized, sometimes it's just instincts with her. The Lester, 34, I had Hannah setting the screen, who Lester was guarding. She came up one step too many and turned her body sideways. Mick came off of there looking for the jumper. She picked up on the fact that Lester was turned sideways, and boom. And without Lester around the basket, Mick's going to have a pretty good chance of getting fouled just because of the way she plays the game. That's the type of stuff that doesn't show up in the box score. That's the type of stuff that the average fan doesn't see. But that's what I've been blessed to watch for 4 years right now.
When Daniel Brown fouled out, you went over and patted her on the back. That was nice. And then you and Hope were talking when they were naming the all-tournament teams. What did 2 good players talk about in that situation?
I just told them that they had done a really great job this season and to keep working hard, and everything they've accomplished they deserve. And I told them they did a great job and good hustle, and told them to keep working.
I don't think there's any doubt that they're going to be back. I mean, As long as they got Lester inside and some of them others, they're going to be, you'll see plenty of them.
Mickey, can you just kind of put into perspective, what the state title means and as a senior and, especially after last year coming down here and getting into the title game?
It's a lot different feeling than last year, and it's better to be smiling up here than crying. And it means a lot being a senior, especially with this group of girls. In the beginning, me and I bet your coach was too. We were kind of like iffy, like, okay, if we get to the state tournament, it'll be a success. But once we got down,
I was worried about living till Christmas. What are you talking about?
but once we got down here, you could see the focus in the girls kind of get a little bit narrower, and you could see that they wanted this as much as anybody else. And me being a senior and Tori too, we knew the urgency of it and just wanted to get a state championship for Coach here.